What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Today, I want to discuss Lizzo, who, again, is trending for all the wrong reasons. And, you know, Cardi B had a 29th birthday party. It was at LA River Studios, and it was a dance hall theme. So many of the celebrities came out, you know, to support. One of them was Lizzo. And she came in with, guys, if you go and Google the image, we can't even show it to you right now because it's that bad. Literally, it'll get the channel flagged for nudity. She comes through in a purple see-through dress. And at that time, she was barefooted. Okay? So, no clothes on. And obviously, like many people, I was appalled. And it doesn't matter like what her body size is. For me, that's not the point. Even if she was in shape. It's a bit graphic. It's a bit much. All right? And then you're going out with no shoes on. I want to talk about the delusion that a lot of ladies have. I think that's in the urban areas right now, because one of the things you're going to see is this kind of bipolar mood swings. You're up one day and down the other. Some people can say that's, you know, characteristics of women in general. But what Lizzo does is she does these things that bring her all of this weird attention. Okay? Then what happens? She complains about it. She cries about it. She creates her own problems and complains about it, which is very similar to what some sisters do in the black community. They deal with a certain guy, they complain about it. They create those certain outcomes based on their own decisions, and they complain about it. And this is what Lizzo does. She goes out perpetuating the stereotypes of black women that she says that she wants to stop. She wants to protect sisters and promote a positive image of them. And then what she does is she goes out naked with being barefooted. Now, if anybody knows, one of the things that, if you go to clubs and things like this, one of the things that's kind of stereotyped about some sisters is that they like to take their shoes off and twerk. You know, and it's a sign for many guys that, okay, this is kind of hood, right? So you anywhere in the world, it's in Africa, it's in America, sisters will take their shoes off barefooted, and you don't really know what's on the ground. You know, if it's glass on the ground, if it's dirty, and kind of like start twerking, dancing. You don't see other groups do this, but you see it more often with sisters. I don't know if it's a genetic thing. But then, when that's a negative stereotype, as quote unquote someone may say hood rats do stuff like that, well, what does Lizzo do? Lizzo goes to an event barefooted. And this is not all sisters that do this, right? But the thing about it is that if you're going to be putting arguments out there, you want black women to be looked at in the positive light. You don't want black women to be stereotyped. You don't want black women to be sexualized. You want to be a positive role model for young black women and girls. You cannot be a hypocrisy or hypocritical to your own arguments. You have to actually live what you're talking about. So if you don't want to damage the African-American female brand, well, then you can't go outside in a see-through dress on barefooted. But I think what most guys are seeing is, we're seeing this in the black community in general, and it's not just black women that do this, it's black men too, but do as I say, but don't do as I do. So what happens is that what black men look at it as, we see what sisters are saying like Lizzo, and they're saying one thing, then what you're seeing is something else in some of their behaviors. And then what it does for black men, it says, okay, well, for those women that exhibit these particular behaviors, we tend not to take them that serious. Like, for example, there was a YouTuber who talks real bad about black men. We all know who this person is. Then, calling black men dusty and everything like that. And then she goes and have a baby by a guy who she talks about all the time. And she's on YouTube still to this day. And do you really know what happens? And people don't really take you that serious. Because how can you be an enemy to your own message? This is similar to Lizzo. And you go to TED Talks. And not only that, I want to say something that people don't want to talk about. People who are white, and Lizzo is a big proponent, are kind of really against this whole idea of white racism. What is it that white people see? That even could be on your behalf. And Lizzo is picked out to have a speech on racism and on stereotypes, and then you get Lizzo out there to talk about this. What do they think? Do you think that other groups, honestly, don't have their opinions on this? Like, when you send Lizzo to speak on your behalf as a community or on behalf of your gender, what do other groups really say? Other groups clap, and then behind closed doors, they can't really honestly say, well, this person here has a point. You could actually have a point, right? But if you're not living to a lifestyle that a person can respect, no one will take you serious. It's not even just Lizzo that does this. You have men I talk about all the time. Dr. Umar Johnson. Umar Johnson, I like his message. Okay? He's an enemy to his message. When you're an enemy to your message, what happens is people don't take you serious. Now, he's not out here getting nude and stuff like that, but he's doing things that are ridiculous, right? And people have no self-awareness around that they're enemy to their own message. And this is what happens. People get so big, they get a big following. And a lot of times when you get a big following, you don't have the chance to be grounded. And a lot of your fans can make you delusional. Okay? I think this is quite common amongst the urban female crowds. They love Lizzo, they love their people, and whatever it is that she does, it's okay. But you really never have anybody talking to them like, yo, Lizzo, hey, you're out here on a bigger stage. This is bigger than you now. This is not just about Lizzo, the artist. This is you living your life, but you have so much of an influence on all women of color that certain things that you do, it influences other people to do the same thing, but yet intellectually you're talking about something that's different than the lifestyle that you live. You're showing up to bigger platforms, okay? And what happens is you're stereotyping the gender and the race in the community. It's a bad look. All for clout. But nobody can tell her that. She's somebody that either they don't feel like they can get through to her, or it just doesn't come across like that. So what happens is you get this continuous pervasive stereotype being portrayed. You see Lizzo going back into these modes of, crying one moment and complaining about it, and then crying about her weight the next. And it's something that a lot of guys see. And when guys pick up on people that have these sorts of problems, it's so easy to leave you alone. Like, one of the reasons that Lizzo is single right now is because of the mood swings, I'm pretty sure. We can argue that she punches above her weight as far as trying to get a guy. Like, the guys that she wants probably are not interested, definitely not interested in her. But one of the things is that what man wants to put up with all of these inconsistencies? Women have to live up to a certain standard also. They have to live up to a certain level of accountability also for a man to respect you. And I think right now what you're seeing in our society, it's getting too easy for guys to really not take certain people serious in the dating world because they don't live what they're talking about. So it's easy for a guy to drop you, easy for a guy to move on to somebody else, because at the very least, men want someone that they can respect. If you're saying one thing and living another, men are going to lose respect for you. And a lot of people are going to continue to lose respect for Lizzo because she's an enemy to the messages that she's trying to teach. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe at the bell. Check out the first comment pinned at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.